voetbalseizoen zit er pas net op, maar achter de schermen zijn de clubs alweer druk bezig met de voorbereiding op het volgende seizoen en ook het nieuwste deel in de FIFA-reeks wordt al klaargestoomd. Tijdens de EA Showcase spraken we met McHardy en hij gaf ons alvast een sneak preview op FIFA 13.
We've worked a lot on explosion and dribbling, and one of those things is people felt that they didn't get to use the speed of their players to full effect, and we've done a lot of work this year, technical work to solve some of the problems that you might have had speed reductions when you were coming out of traps or out of dribble turns, or even using knock-ons where players would slow down a little bit too much and defenders had the opportunity to catch up. So we've done a lot of work on that side to really free up the dribbling so that you can feel that explosion in every touch that you take, and I think that kind of has that counterbalance to the work that we've been doing in the player impact engine. We really wanted to expand that feature from what we started with last year. Last year was a very conservative attempt, and this year we wanted to go a little bit further to allow players to use their strengths. And again, I talk about doing it on both sides of the ball. We've been focusing on strength of defenders for a long time in FIFA, and this is no different. We're adding to that pile because we want you to be able to use the abilities of your defenders. Forwards and midfielders are good at dribbling, they're quick, they can make good passes. Defenders, they're big and strong and they're good at using their body to prevent those attackers from taking opportunities. And we wanted to bring that into FIFA this year and create that battle for possession. So that's what we focused on, using the body to seal off defenders, adding more effects to the pushing and the pulling mechanic, while giving you the ability to maybe go over the line a little bit and get reprimanded by the referee. So all of that sort of lives in together in conjunction with those dribbling changes we've made to make it more explosive and make you feel like you can really use your pace. And all of those come together to create a nice balance this year. And that's essentially what the focus is when we talk about this year. We want to create a true battle for possession. It's a challenge that we've had in FIFA for years. How do we make Barcelona and Arsenal play like Barcelona and Arsenal while still having the personality of a lower division English team and how they might play? Maybe not the perfect game, maybe a little bit more hard-nosed, get the ball forward into attack. How do we bring that to the forefront? How do we capture that diversity in real world football and bring it into FIFA? And that's really what we've tried to do with the first touch control. By creating these opportunities for players to take poor touches in very difficult situations and having a varying spectrum of how players can handle that based on their skills. For instance, Lionel Messi might be able to handle it a whole lot better than somebody in Division 3. The fact that we can have those varying degrees means that we can ask you, the gamer, to think differently about how you approach every single game in FIFA. And now in that game where you're playing with Barcelona, you might try to have this 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, firing balls in difficult situations because you know your players that you have can cope with it. Now, in a similar situation in Division 3, this ball might be played over the top to a defender who you don't really feel confident can break it down, so you choose a different tactic, clearing the ball. Some of the things that I talked about in the fundamental section is us updating the animations in the celebrations. We want to work specifically on trying to clean up those situations because the addition of the player impact engine made that interaction a little bit more tricky. So we've done changes this year in fundamentals to improve that interaction and make sure that all of those are cleaner, as well as updating the animations so you get a refreshed experience and a new experience in all of those post-goal celebrations. The way that the referee analyzes the play is improved. He has a whole lot more information about how he analyzes each particular circumstance on the pitch. And why I say I can't tell you if anything is in or anything is gone is because why I think that was probably frustrating to you in one situation may not apply to another situation. So he may get his hands on you in one situation where you have no play at the ball and he brings you down and clearly it should be a penalty. We've done work on the referee so he understands those situations better and should call that. But in another situation he might just nick the ball first and get just enough of it where he still gets your leg, but he's gotten enough of the ball that we don't want to call that a penalty. So there is that balancing act that happens in determining what's the correct outcome as a referee. What we've done this year is advance his intelligence and the information that he gets from the player impact engine so he has a better understanding of every collision so that he's not missing that call because he didn't understand that there was a collision there in the first place. He's not calling it because he doesn't feel that it's a foul because he felt the keeper got enough of the ball. And that's the distinction we're trying to make, giving him enough information to make the correct call in every situation on the pitch. Although because we've added the player impact engine, the number of instances and the number of circumstances that are possible in the game are almost infinite. So there's a lot for him to cope with now, which is why it's a much more difficult problem than it used to be.
Binnenkort kunnen we iets uitgebreider aan de slag gaan met het nieuwe deel, dus verwacht de komende maanden dan ook meer info en video van FIFA 13.